All right, today is March 28th, 2020, and I am back, baby. Uh, yeah, it's uh, it's been a hot minute, and I have an excuse. Now you know what it is. Corona-chan decided to uh, come over for a play date. I'm pretty sure. I haven't been tested, but with all of the symptoms going on and everything, I had a pretty bad flu uh, a couple days ago, and a really bad fever, and we're in the middle of a worldwide pandemic right now, so my best guess is, yeah, I probably got the coronavirus. So, oh no, wait, I'm not allowed to say that. Shit. uh, yeah, I'm in good spirits though. Take it on the chin. My folks are not doing as well. I got over it pretty quickly. Although I hear that there's like waves to this thing, and like you go through one wave, and then 2 weeks later it's worse or something. And I'm dreading that idea. I'm hoping that I'm nothing like that, and that it's just one and done. That'd be great. uh, so yeah, here I am, back to try to do another video. My name is Byron, and this is Thinking Aloud. So, during the time that I've been sick, I haven't really had the energy to think about a lot of things, but, now that I am a little bit better, I've been able to get the dog out and go for a proper walk, hoping it stays that way. But, I've been thinking a little bit about the response to this thing, and specifically in our institutions, like the government. It's got me thinking a little bit about leadership, and I've been stuck on a few things, because I don't think that any of the people who were doing this, I think that the whole response was kind of a shit show, to be honest. It wasn't very leaderly, frankly. You would expect people to come together in trying times, but it looks like it's the same old with these partisan hacks. Can't stand them. It's business as usual, I guess. But I've been thinking about leadership and what it means to be a leader, and in all of this, like the one thing that popped into my mind was priorities. There's a lot of things that when you want to solve a problem, or let's try that again. When you want to solve a problem, you kind of have to distinguish between things that are relevant to the problem and things that are not relevant to the problem, right? So for example, if I want to make like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, okay, I don't need to calculate the exact position between myself and the moon at any given point in time in order to do that. You know what I mean? Like, you can make a sandwich in the daytime and the nighttime, and that specific mathematical measurement really is pointless to know when you want to make a sandwich. So there's relevant information and there's irrelevant information, and priorities have to do with gathering the relevant information and also detailing what kinds of actions, therefore, to those relevant objects, I guess would be the way to put it. You have these relevant objects, and you're going to act on these relevant objects, and you don't want to act on things that are irrelevant, right? Because it just wastes time and resources. And I guess time would be a resource, but we're not we're not going to go there. So I've been thinking about priorities and how you go, okay, well, there's there's relevant things, right? And then there's, of those relevant things, a rank order of those relevant things in terms of which go first and which go last, right? And priorities then would be in there, something like that. I just found that really interesting to think about and ponder. It's a useful paradigm for thinking about this stuff, I guess. So that was one thing. I guess there's like greater ramifications to this idea of prioritizing information and relevant objects of action as well. I find this idea kind of troublesome for specifically, well, let's put it this way, specifically epistemology, right? And epistemology, in case you don't know, is it's the study of knowledge in terms of philosophical discourse. It's very wide ranging, and it just has to do with the general concept of knowledge and a lot to do with like the procedures of how you obtain it and those kinds of things as well. So when you think about this idea of relevant and irrelevant information in problem solving, you run into an issue in epistemology, which is to say that, well, not all facts are necessarily relevant to a problem, right? There's all kinds of things that might be true that might be useless to know, is the way that I would put it. And, you know, like the example before with the sandwich, if you're trying to make a PB&J, you really don't need to know what the exact mathematical value is of your distance, of the distance between your exact point and the moon, right? Even though there might actually, well, there definitely is a fact about that, right? There are some facts that are useful, and there are some facts that are not. And it really puts some weird twists on the value of truth, because if you really value truth, you might just sit around getting a bunch of useless knowledge. And you know, it's effectively like the person who becomes, you know, a trivia buff but can't do anything otherwise. Like, they may have a bunch of information in their head that's true, but there's nothing they can really do with it, so it doesn't really do much for them, you know. You know, and I'm not talking about just any trivia buff, because like some people can do that and they get on like game shows or whatever, and that's useful. You know, you can use it for that. But other than that, there's really not a lot of use for it. And the question then is, well, can you turn a bunch of information that you have that happens to be true, you know, knowledge, that is generally useless into something useful? And I'm finding that this exercise is in some way a way for me to do that, because I've read like a shit ton of philosophy. I'm not gonna lie, like since junior year I've been reading like really heavy philosophy, and I'm like, you know, well past high school now. You know, I'm kind of a mad lad in that regards, I guess, but you know, you don't really see a lot of high schoolers who are reading the SEP and the IEP for fun. Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy and Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy, in case you don't know. Great resources, by the way. Check them out if you're getting into philosophy. But I just found reflecting on that to be really interesting, and I'm glad to be back doing this. So I'm definitely going to be doing more of these. I'll probably catch you up on what's been happening with me and my family in the next one, and we'll go from there. So thank you for watching, and peace out. Bye. If only I can hit the button.